Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is set up our system for bringing in these modules and just some preparation for them. So off to the side here, I'm going to do a for each number. And the only thing we need to change on here is iterations. Change that to // module. Oops. And then on here, change this to fetch feedback. I mean, it doesn't actually really matter, but we do want to merge each iteration. Right. Now I'm going to put down an object merge and a file. Okay, and what we need, is going to drag this down here, is a wrangle. Because we're using these like multiple tabs, we need to be able to dynamically get the version, the correct channel. So we need to make a wrangle here. Let's call this eval strings, and this will just work out string attributes based on the current loop we're in. Okay, so in here, let's switch this over to detail, get the current iteration we're on, and just +1 because iteration starts from 0 but the tabs start counting at 1. So just get that, and string at geo, so s at geo is going to be equal to channel. And then we do a sprint f, and in this we can just look for our geo, and then %d to insert an integer, which is our iteration. And then copy that twice, change this one to file, and this one to type. Same with the attribute name. That is type here, and then geo and file. Okay. Now let's add in a switch. Okay, so we'll start by bringing our object merge data, and I'm just going to color that blue. So in here, so in tilde, which is the one just before 1 on your keypad, details, detail, yes, actually, detail string is what it stands for, eval strings. And then we need to do geo. And you can see that's correctly loading in. that one we assigned. Okay. And then just copy that, paste that in and change geo to file. And then on our switch, paste that in, change it to a detail instead of a detail string, and get rid of our tildes, type, and then just add a third variable of 0. So that should be correctly pointing to this one, and when we switch it over, it should change. This might not update because it's in a loop, but cool. Now we need a wrangle. Call this one panel ID. And it's going to be super simple. I add panel ID. There's detail. When I say panel, I mean module. Just equal to the iteration. And we're doing input 1 because we're going to plug our metadata node into this. Plus 1. Run over points. And make sure that is plugged into input 1. Okay, let's do another wrangle here. Also plug that into there. This one's going to be measure module size. And this one wants to be a detail. The first thing we need to do is get the size of our module. So we just get that with get vbox size. Input 0, and then let's get our iteration again of our loop. Import 1, iteration, then we'll go U for which is a vector 2, module size, then we go and size dot x equals rint, which is short round to int, size dot x, then divided by channel, m size x. Just our module size x, and that's what I've called it above. And then after we do that, so we want to times that by channel size x again. Do the same for y. And then I'm going to do a vector 2, which is called module scale. And what this is going to do, we do need to write this out as a variable, so let's just do UA module scale. So this is going to be to make sure our modules are perfectly the scale they need to be. So module scale dot x is equal to at module size dot x divided by channel module size x. So if the modules are built to the correct size, this will always just equal 1 and not scale them at all. But if they're a little bit over or under, it'll just nudge them to the right size, so there's no gaps. Ideally, your modules are just built the correct size though. Okay. Put down an attribute promote. And I'm just going to take our module scale and module size, promote to point attributes. Okay, let's put down a transform. And we want to, in scale here, let's look up a point attribute. And what we want to do is, we don't really need to promote this scale at all. What will be better? Get a detail attribute. Measure module size. Module scale x. Just do module scale. Get the first piece, which is x. Okay. Put down another transform. I mean, this could be the same one, but it doesn't really matter. $sign x max plus channel module size x 5/2. Copy that. Swap that out for y. And that we'll just make sure it's positioned correctly. Okay. Now we just need to pack. And I am going to go back and promote that. So we want to make sure it's transfer these three when we pack up our modules. So let's add in another module. I've just got a separate geo node that's got these ones imported from disk, just a couple of them, just for testing. Okay, so this is not quite working. Let's check this real quick. Got my braces in the wrong place. Just bringing them all in. I have not done the scaling right though, as you can probably see. So we've got that. Our module scale. It's really what it is. We've got our scale, which is how many sort of sections of our module is, and then our actual overall size. So what we need to do is check our size against its physical size as well, to get this scaling correct. So what we could do in here, surrounding a scale, let's get size and divide that by bbox // measure module size d_x size. And let's copy that, paste it into there. Y size, change that back to a 1. Yeah, so that shouldn't change anything because these are correctly sized, but it will now fix up any that are broken. Cool. So that is now bringing in our modules correctly.